All right. I think I figured this out. I think we're live now. Welcome to the show. This is Conspiracy Theories and Chill. We usually do this from Facebook. And, hey, Ethan. Damn Yankees. Always late. We're 5 minutes late. But it took me a second to figure it out. But welcome. This is Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And it looks like there's a little bit of a glitch in the video feed. Hopefully the audio is okay. But we'll start in just a minute. I'm going to do a sample of my Facebook live show over here. I usually archive them all over here. Let me turn off the theme music. I usually archive them all over here on YouTube anyway. But I'm thinking about trying to do the actual feed itself from YouTube. Just cutting out Facebook entirely, because I have not been happy with the turnouts I've been getting on Facebook and with the growth of the show on Facebook. I've been over there doing this show on Facebook for probably 2 years. And it's built an audience, but not an audience that I think it should have built in that long a period of time. Let me see if I can bring this up. Or I don't need to. I can look at the comments right here. This is kind of neat. I'm experimenting with the differences between Facebook Live and YouTube to see where I want to do the show from, because I'm thinking about moving it over here. We usually watch a video. Let me explain what the show is. I realize that you may not even know I have a show. I do a show called Conspiracy Theories and Chill. We usually do it live on Facebook, 7 p.m. Central on Friday nights. If you want to watch it, that's when it'll be. Tonight we have a special guest, Nick Reeder, we're going to have on. Sometimes we have special guests. Most of the time I play a video that I make for my YouTube channel here on Me on Things and Stuff, where you're watching right now. And I play that for the Facebook people, and then we watch it and talk about the video or anything you want. We usually go for about an hour, and we talk about conspiracy theories. Anything that you want to talk about, basically. I wrote down some topics to get into for us today during this little test run of the show on YouTube. But go ahead and comment in the comment section anything you want to talk about. I'm pretty well informed on a lot of conspiracies, so we can riff on a lot of different stuff. Like I said, I got no guest or video ready for this. This was a test run to see if I like doing the streams over here better on YouTube. So participate in the show, comment, let me know what you're thinking about, what you want to talk about. To start off, I'm going to get into the big news story right now, Julian Assange, and what's been going on with that. That, to me, I feel is tragic. The arrest of Julian Assange and imminent extradition to the United States. I feel is tragic. I feel I'm afraid that he's a dead man walking. I don't feel like he's safe now at all. I'm not even talking about going to prison. What's he facing? 5 years? 5 years for conspiracy to hack or obtain a password, government password. Apparently him and Chelsea Manning were trying to obtain a password to hack a government database. I don't know if that's true or not. It's probably trumped up bullshit, you know. Just like Russiagate. I've seen a lot of people, because I posted on Facebook about it. I've been talking on there about this since the arrest. And there's people on there saying, oh, he deserves to be hung. He's a traitor. I don't think you fully understand the situation. Julian Assange is not a traitor. He's a journalist. Julian Assange is what journalism is supposed to be, you know, impartial. People just don't like certain truth that he released. It's not that WikiLeaks didn't tell the truth. It's not like WikiLeaks released something that wasn't true. It was that very rich and very powerful people didn't like the information being released and didn't want it released. When it was, you know, the establishment media is mostly liberal. That's who's being outraged. That's who usually shows their outrage towards those kind of things. And when WikiLeaks was exposing the Republicans during George Bush's presidency, WikiLeaks been around for a long time, and they've never had to retract a story for being false ever in their entire existence. So when they were exposing corruption in the Bush administration, the liberal media was all for that. But now that they exposed Hillary Clinton's emails, that's when Julian Assange really became persecuted. Before that even, but he's been in hiding in that embassy for 7 years before they eventually went in and arrested him. Let's see. Arrow Crusher commented, "Do you have any info or knowledge on targeted individuals gang stalking?" I'm not sure exactly what you mean. I would have to Google the term gang stalking. Maybe you can clarify for me. But knowledge on targeted individuals, are you talking about people like Assange, targeted by the establishment, or I'm afraid to riff on what you're asking me because I don't fully think I got what you're asking me. But this thing with Julian Assange, like I said, people calling for him to be hung, is ridiculous. He's a truth teller, a truth spreader. That's what WikiLeaks does. They share information. They're a place for a Chelsea Manning to take all that information that Chelsea released, put her life on the line for, serve time for, so it could be exposed. The war crimes in Iraq. They do that. They expose things. They're an important outlet for truth. One of the last ones standing, by the way. And we need to do something to protect the truth before we find ourselves in a situation where it's gone entirely. Because that's where we're heading. I don't want to see us end up that way. And, this arrest of Julian Assange, I think, is a big nail in the coffin of truth. Now, tonight on the show, tonight at 7 p.m., we're going to be live on Facebook, where we usually come from. I'm thinking of moving to YouTube, and I'm starting to really like it over here. I like the layout. I like the analytics it shows me during the show. There's a lot of pluses, but I'm experimenting with it. We'll see how the participation goes and the turnout goes with this little experiment, but I'm liking it so far. But this is a huge nail in the coffin for truth, and it's getting harder to tell the truth. That's one of the reasons I'm experimenting with YouTube right now, because I'm suppressed over on Facebook. And it probably will be the same way here because YouTube or Google themselves, YouTube's parent company, has come out against conspiracy videos. And I had the nerve to name my show Conspiracy Theories and Chill, which was probably pretty stupid. But I'll probably be suppressed over here too and have to move somewhere else. I was thinking about Minds.com or DTube. I don't know. Where do you go? Isn't it sad that we're at that point in society where you have to start wondering, where am I going to go to be able to tell the truth, to be able to share the truth, to be able to find the truth? Where am I going to go to look for that? If I was a whistleblower, if I was a Chelsea Manning and I had these documents, where am I going to go with them? Free speech is nice and all. If someone's listening to you, it's useless if no one's listening to you. You may as well go share your documents with a tree in your backyard. WikiLeaks gave you, still does. If we stand up and fight for it, still will give someone an outlet to share truth. And we got to stand up and fight for that. That's what Julian Assange is being persecuted for, is being a truth spreader, a truth teller. What journalism should be. Holding people accountable, rich and powerful people. That's who doesn't like what he's doing, is the rich and the powerful. That's who had him arrested, the elite. And we're their muscle. And they're going to bring him here for his justice, which he will get none of. But I'm scared that somebody, either a crazy person or they'll have him assassinated themselves. On the way to trial, I'm scared he's going to die. I'm scared he's in that much danger. I'm as atrocious as it would be to imprison that man for 5 years. Let's say he got the maximum sentence for what they're looking for. As atrocious as that would be, my real fear is that someone's going to kill that man. You know, there are things. Do you think there are safety measures set up at WikiLeaks in case something happens to Julian? There are dead man switches. There are information they haven't released yet. Um, that man has a lot of power. Why do you think they didn't raid that place for 7 years? This is a big move, and I think he's in danger. I think he's in danger because what he may know, what he may have. Errol says the truth is on the endangered species list. You're right. And we're just allowing it. We're just standing for it. Who's going to stop it? If we don't stop it ourselves, who's going to stop it? They're eliminating it. Have you ever read 1984? Brave New World? Fahrenheit 451? These are all books you should read because we're living in that reality now. We've let those fiction works of fiction, of dystopian futures, we've let them become reality. That's the current reality we live in now. Is a Venn diagram of those books and maybe a little bit of the Matrix thrown in. That's what we've allowed to happen. And I wonder how much we'll actually allow before it all plays out. Will we allow the New World Order to completely move forward with their agenda, with their plan towards a New World government? Will we allow ourselves to be completely enslaved, for truth to die out, for freedom to die? Are we going to stand for that? Yeah, you're right, Arrow. Animal Farm by George Orwell belongs in that Venn diagram too. Isn't it weird how prophetic George Orwell was of the future? It's scary almost. Seems like he was a time traveler. Have you ever seen the movie They Live? It's an 80s film, and it's got Roddy Piper as the lead in it. So it's a low budget movie, but it is great. And that's another one that needs to be in the Venn diagram. We live in scary times. We live in the age of deception. Everything's a lie. You have to seek out and find the truth yourself, and they're trying to suppress it as best they can. You know, these private companies are now in control of suppression and censorship. That's what I was looking for. It's been corporatized. Censorship has been corporatized. And people always want to defend it. They're like, oh, they can censor you. They can censor anybody they want. Facebook is a private company. YouTube is a private company. That's all well and good. But they have the same reach and the same usefulness and need in people's lives, especially in this online life that we find ourselves in now, where everything is online and the public square is online. They have a domination over certain venues. Same as the mail has a domination over mail, and the phone company has a domination over phone communication. Facebook has a domination over social media sharing. YouTube has a domination over video sharing. And you need those things. So to live and operate in the digital space, you need those things. They become essential. And yes, they're private companies, but when they take away your voice, you are essentially silenced. There is nowhere else to go. If YouTube canceled my feeds right now and pulled all my videos, I don't really have another place to put them. And you could say, well, yeah, you do, Sean. You could put them over on DTube. Well, DTube doesn't have the viewers that YouTube has. If everyone's over on YouTube watching videos, yeah, I can be over on DTube. But again, I'm talking to a tree in my backyard, aren't I? You know, it's not doing me any good standing there ranting and raving when no one's listening. The whole point of making these videos and talking about what I'm talking about is to get eyeballs on them, to get the truth spread. That's what I want. That's the point. That's my little gift. That's all I can give back to society. I can't just do nothing. Once you become aware of the truth, you have to do something. And I figured I have a gift for talking. You know, I've been doing stand up comedy for, man, I don't even know, like 15 years. Mostly local level. Never made it big. But I am very comfortable talking. I don't have any kind of stage presence issues. I follow this stuff closely and I know a lot about it. So I figure my way of giving back is to put together this show. So Conspiracy Theories and Chill is my way of giving back and spreading truth and helping to fight back against the lies that dominate and control our world. And got to do something. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to grow the audience for the show. So I'm trying it out over here on YouTube. This is our first feed from YouTube. But what we were talking about was Julian Assange. And as a stand-up comic, as a writer, and as, I don't know what you would call me, a vlogger with these video shows, I, of course, feel the First Amendment is very important and worth fighting for. To me, it's my big, that's where I'll die. That's the hill I'm going to die on, is the First Amendment. But to some people, it's the second. To some people, it's different things. But to me, the first is that important. So arresting Julian Assange is like a nuclear strike. Because, well, for many reasons. But a big reason is something that someone that justice still hasn't come to and probably never will, is Seth Rich. Seth Rich was the leaker of the DNC emails. That's another thing people need to understand about Julian Assange and about WikiLeaks. They are not a hacking organization. I know right now they're trying to say that Julian was trying to get a password with Chelsea Manning. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that about either one of them. But I believe Chelsea wanted in no way to go back to jail. Chelsea wants to live her life, be free. Just got out of jail. Not just jail, prison for treason. You think that wasn't an extra special kind of hell? So yeah, she's out trying to hack government websites. That's what she's doing, is trying to get back in prison. I believe that. And then Julian Assange is trapped in an embassy because his site WikiLeaks shares the truth. And yeah, he's trying to hack government websites. I believe that shit. That makes a lot of sense. Who believes this shit? That's what's scary, is you'll have your Rachel Maddows. You know, someone like me, or let's see, a lot of people in the truth movement I have a lot of respect for. Someone like a William Cooper. William Cooper, if you don't know, is the OG of the truth movement. He was big way before Alex Jones. Alex Jones basically ripped off William Cooper's whole shtick. But William Cooper was a history nut, which is where I started out too. And if you study history, you see that it repeats itself. And if you ignore it, you're doomed. Hold on, let me get rid of that. Whoops. If you ignore history, you're doomed to repeat it. But he could predict. He had a gift where he could see where things were heading just from his knowledge of history. He's a very knowledgeable man. I have some of his shows from the Hour of the Time. His show was called The Hour of the Time. And it was a radio show back in the early 90s. All the way up probably until his death. He was killed because he was a truth teller. They always silence truth tellers. But they don't admit William Cooper was killed, but he was killed. And he was killed over 9/11. He was one of the first to say that Osama bin Laden did not pull off 9/11. He was one of the first to say that something big would be blamed on Osama bin Laden before 9/11 even happened. But he called it all out and was silenced over that one. 9/11 is a big one. You know, on this show, we talk about conspiracies, and 9/11 is probably, it's got to be in the top five of all time conspiracies. And I think when you rank it in importance, historical importance, it's number one or number two, only beaten by JFK maybe. And the reason why is JFK assassination is when the New World Order or Illuminati or whatever you want to call these people took control of the executive branch of our government. But let's see, what's Errol talking about? Most people seem to be obsessed with material possessions and are too comfortable to show any resistance or sacrifice. You're absolutely right, which is why I, at this point, happen to back a political strategy moving forward and have thrown my support behind Bernie Sanders, even though I realize that voting in a rigged system is a pipe dream, you know, and we live in a rigged system, unfortunately. The 2000s, this is another reason why Julian Assange is being persecuted and why Seth Rich died. The 2016 Democratic primary was rigged. They've been telling you for years on mainstream media that the general election in 2016 was rigged for Donald Trump by Russia. That's all bullshit to cover up for the fact that they rigged the Democratic primary, stole the nomination from the hugely popular Bernie Sanders, alienated half of their base, and then had a huge dump of emails through poor security, sloppiness. The Podesta emails were found because he left his phone in a fucking taxi. And I guess they were able to get his password. I don't know how, but that's how they got his. The DNC emails came from Seth Rich. I'll argue that with you till my dying day. And Julian Assange never releases a source, but he's come as close as you could possibly come to saying that Seth was the source. So he's came out and said everything but Seth was the source. And he just won't. He can't tell you who the source was. That's part of journalistic integrity. It's something to admire about the man. But he's come as close as he's going to, including offering a reward for information leading to the arrest of Seth's killers. So there's that. For those of you that doubt that Seth is the informant, I have people on my Facebook feed right now arguing with me about that as well. Because I'm saying, where do people like Seth? Seth was willing. He didn't expect, I don't think he expected to die for sharing that information. I think he probably hoped he would get away with it. But what he did took a massive amount of bravery. It took immense courage to come forward like that with that information, to capture it and to share it with WikiLeaks and share it with the world and get the truth out there. It took big balls. It took a lot of bravery. He may not have realized he was putting his life in danger. Unfortunately, he was. And that was his last act on earth. But I hope that one day it gets the acknowledgement it deserves, and the importance of what he sacrificed is finally acknowledged. But if history is any indicator, I'm going to be hoping for a long time. You know, I saw somebody share that this atrocity, which is what it is, of having Julian Assange arrested and persecuting him, trying to imprison him for telling the truth, spreading the truth, being a journalist. Even though that's tragic as that is, I forget where I was going with this. It would be, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm emotional about this. I violently defend the First Amendment, and I feel like this is just beyond tragic. I can't find the right words. It's awful. Let's see. Dominic says, I saw a thing yesterday saying that Julian Assange has been arrested on behalf of the United States. It looked very mainstreamy, so I don't know what's real about it. Either way, that narrative's about to take a twist. Arrow Crusher, your every comment is exactly on point. It brings more to this conversation. You should be on call with him in some of those. This is our first one over on YouTube. I like it, though. I got to tell you, I'm really liking it over on YouTube. We usually do these from Facebook, and I archive them over here on YouTube. but I think it's working a little better over here on YouTube. If I can figure out how to play the video aspect and how to have guests on, I may move the entire show over to YouTube. But in the meantime, our regular show is from Facebook at 7 p.m. Central on Friday nights. So tonight at 7 p.m. Central, we'll have our regular show on Facebook. And we have a special guest tonight. Nick Reeder's going to be on. He's a QAnon researcher, and he's going to be talking to us about the arrest of Julian Assange. Because what's interesting, and this is the reason why I like having people like Nick on, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. Where, this isn't a politics show, but just to let you view into me a little bit, I support Bernie Sanders. That's the political strategy that I support. Nick happens to be a Trump supporter. Most QAnon believers are Trump supporters. But these QAnon believers believe that even though Trump is playing stupid with this arrest of Julian Assange and saying he doesn't know or doesn't pay attention to WikiLeaks, that's not his thing, even though he's playing stupid, they think that Trump orchestrated this whole arrest of Julian Assange so that they could have him testify against these powerful elite people and release and dump this information and protect him while he does it, and that he's going to end out a free man, that this is going to have a whole big plot twist. And again, hopefully Nick will be able to give us some information to make me have more faith in that plan. But again, I feel like that is just wishful thinking. I've looked into the QAnon thing. I don't happen to be a big believer in it. I think it's misinformation. I do think it comes from somebody high up. I think it's probably CIA ran. But I think it's disinformation, and it's done to confuse and mislead the public, and basically to get you to not act. Because telling all these very, very active people, the QAnon believers, are very active people. A lot of them are former burners, but they are the type of people that will do their own research and look for their own truth, which is what needs to happen in this day and age. But you get them latched onto something like QAnon, where they're made to believe that the Trump administration is ran by heroes, patriots that are trying to take down the elite establishment and the pedophile elites that truly run this world. They believe all that. And that gets them distracted. That gets them where they don't hold Trump accountable. Where when things like this Julian Assange arrest happens, they go, no, wait. He's going to show you that it's okay. He's not going to allow Julian to go down. He's going to use him in his chess game. Well, I just don't believe that Donald Trump is playing a chess game. I don't believe he's capable of playing a chess game. I don't have much faith in the man himself. I'm not talking about his politics. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I just don't have much faith in the man. I do know that he wasn't supposed to become president. He shocked the system and became president despite the odds and despite the fact that the establishment was against him. But I think that's as far as it goes. Let me see. Dominic says that YouTube had steered me away from your channel for quite a while. I liked finding you here today. They do. They're suppressing. Like I said, I named my show Conspiracy Theories and Chill. YouTube has come out, Google themselves have come out and said that they're going to suppress conspiracy videos. So right now they say they won't delete my channel, but they won't put it in any recommendations. It won't show up to be recommended to anybody, which sucks because one of my main goals, was to grow my YouTube channel, Me on Things and Stuff, where you watch me right now, to 1,000 subscribers. We're at like 840 right now, and I noticed it slowed to a crawl. We were growing pretty good. Then it slowed to a crawl when they announced this ban on conspiracy videos, and I'm like, oh man. And then I noticed I loaded up a new, the Mandela Effect videos are very popular on my channel. I have one that's almost up to 60,000 views, which for my channel is amazing. I don't have anything else that comes close to that on my channel. So I made a new one, 25 favorite Mandela effects, and posted it. And it's doing okay, but nowhere near as good as the 15 Mandela effects the 60,000 video did. And it's clear I'm being suppressed. Even with fun conspiracies like Mandela effects, that's not dangerous. That's not a threat to the powerful. That's not something they're trying to shut up. But Dominic says, What do I search on Facebook to find your regular shows? Just search my name. My name is Sean Yankee, and you'll see me. My profile picture is a picture of me in this hat. So follow me on my Facebook page, or Politics and Stuff is the name of a page on Facebook, and that's where the show comes from. That's who hosts my show, is the page Politics and Stuff. And we'll be live tonight at 7 p.m. over there. But I may be moving over to YouTube because I like this better. I already like it. It was tough to set up. That's what turned me off to it for a while. It's not very user friendly, but I like the layout of it better. I like the way the comments show up better, and I like the way it gives me analytics during the show. It's a little distracting because it shows me how long people have been watching even, which is neat. But it catches my eye. So it takes my eye away from what's going on every once in a while. But I'm liking it. I'm digging doing the show from YouTube. So we may move over here. But let me see if there's anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap up. We've been talking mostly about Julian Assange and why he's really being persecuted. It has nothing to do with this bullshit they're saying of him trying to hack a password. WikiLeaks are not computer hackers. They share information that is shared with them. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. And they have a 100% track record. They've always verified everything that they share is factual, and they've never had to retract a single thing in their entire existence. So, and they even predicted that Julian would be arrested while Ecuador was still denying it. And they were right. They're always right. And that's why they're trying to silence them. Because they're reliable, they have a great track record, people know they can trust them, and they share information that the rich and powerful don't want shared. And that's why it's important to shut them up. And I don't know if taking down Assange shuts down WikiLeaks. I don't know if they go on without him or not. But I know that if we stand for letting this man's life be ruined, letting this man be taken down, and let's say best case scenario, do 5 years in prison for running a media website that allows people to share the truth, we're going to wake up one day in a world that has no truth because we didn't stand up and support it. It won't exist anymore. You cannot wait for them to come for you. You know, they deplatformed and tried to silence Alex Jones. No one rose up because a lot of people don't like Alex Jones. I don't like Alex Jones, and I'm a truther, but I feel like Alex Jones is misinformation. I feel like Alex Jones is a CIA plant. Actually, that's what I really feel about him. I feel like he is a plant and made and put in place to do ridiculous things and make conspiratorial people look crazy. I think that's his entire purpose. But I agree with his right to exist. I don't agree with them deplatforming him and taking away his entire reach. You know, he still has his website, and his show is insanely popular, by the way. They get 25 to 30 million views an episode of InfoWars. You didn't shut him up. Anything you grew him, you made him a martyr, which for someone like Alex is one of the best things you could possibly do for him. In as far as growing his base and making his base believe that they're fans of a you gave him validation. You validated him. You made him look like, okay, he's telling the truth. He's someone they want to suppress and shut up. We should follow and listen to Alex. It backfired. But anyways, I didn't agree with the deplatforming of Alex Jones, but I didn't see enough people, hardly anybody, stood up and was outraged about it. That's scary because that's how they do things, is slowly over time. So they'll chip away. They chip away at your freedoms slowly. They don't come out and do it all at once. They take it away slowly and in stages. And before you know it, it's gone. And we're going to allow that if we don't start standing up at these milestones and taking a stand and going, no, no, you don't. No, you don't arrest that man. No, you don't shut down books on Amazon. Do you know Amazon is basically doing book burning? It's the equivalent of book burning, same fucking thing. Again, they're a private company, and I understand they have the right to limit what shows up on their site. But they dominate the book industry worldwide. And when they start pulling books, that's the same thing as book burning. So this is happening. This is happening in 2019. Book burning, censorship. It's all happening, and it's just been corporatized. And that's the blanket that they lay under for safety and security, but I don't think we need to allow that. We need to get loud and even fight back, even though they're corporations, even though it's within their right. Boycott them. Boycott them. You know, a site like Facebook needs its users to participate with it to exist. A site like YouTube needs eyeballs on screens and people viewing the videos to exist. You take that away, they won't exist anymore. That's the only way you can fight back. In a capitalist society, the only way you can fight back is with your money and what you support and what you do and don't support. It's the only way to fight back. Our only real power is in our numbers, which is why they try so hard to keep us divided. Why that's their biggest focus is division, and why they're so damn good at it, actually. Keeping us divided is one of the main things that they focus on. And then the other thing that they focus on to control us is keeping us poor and misinformed. The indoctrination and the brainwashing and the misdirection that goes on in this country and our society is mind-blowing. The mainstream media is probably our biggest enemy. The lies that are spread by the mainstream media, the propaganda and misdirection done by the mainstream media is so damaging to ever having any real progress, because they make sure the average person doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. They make sure of it. They keep them so confused and sidetracked that they don't even know what's going on. They don't know what's real. They believe Julian Assange is a traitor. They believe he should be hung, when he is what a real journalist used to be. They're not hackers. WikiLeaks is not a hacking organization. They release truth. They verify it, release it. People would always whine when they were releasing all this stuff against the Democrats. Weren't they releasing stuff against the Republicans? Well, no one's giving them anything, I guess. They release what they get. Arrow says, they got the power, but we got the numbers. A Jim Morrison quote. That's a good quote. If we use it, if we come together, but we allow them to divide us, we allow them to keep us separated, which keeps us weak. If we used our numbers and we used our money to fight them, we would win. There are more of us. We're talking about a handful of people in the grand scheme of things. The people that control everything and run your life are a handful of people. We can win against them. Just have to fight back and rise up, stay united, come together. You see what's happening in France? Look up the yellow vest protests in France. They are not showing that on the media at all because they don't want you getting any ideas. That's what you got to do. You got to come together en masse, stand up, and make your demands and show that you will not back down. That's how everything's ever been accomplished ever in history. Millions of people stood up and demanded it. That's why I like Bernie Sanders so much. He talks about that all the time, says it over and over and over again. And that's the way people need to have things laid out to them, unfortunately. People are we're not that smart. You know, I'm going to butcher it, but there's a favorite line of mine from the movie Men in Black, where Will Smith's like, why can't you tell people the truth? They can handle it. He's like, people are smart. And Tommy Lee Jones is like, people are stupid. A person is smart. But people as a group are stupid, panicking animals. That's exactly true. Society as a whole is stupid and panicky. We're easily led. We want convenience. We want people to figure things out for us. We want our leaders to keep us safe as a group. And that's going to get us in a lot of trouble because our leaders are the problem. But this has been a special episode of Conspiracy Theories and Chill on YouTube. I usually stream live from Facebook at 7 p.m. Central on Friday nights from my personal page, Sean Yankee. I'll add a link in the comments after this feed so you can follow me on Facebook if you want to. Next time I do one of these, I'll be more prepared and I'll have it in the actual header. But I may start doing the show from YouTube. I like this. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see me do it from YouTube, if you like it better over here, or if you think I should stay with Facebook and you'll come and hang out with us there. But I like doing it on YouTube. It worked. I'm going to watch it and make sure it worked. But if it did, I may do this on YouTube and may become a regular thing over on YouTube instead. So thanks for coming and checking out the show. And like and share. And remember to subscribe while you're here. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can help me by being one of those. So thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you guys on the next Conspiracy Theories and Chill. Join us tonight at 7 on my Facebook page for a brand new episode.